So, brothers and sisters, man, I have been waiting to bring y'all this this podcast. It's a podcast about the ILWU, the whole international. We got local 10 members in the house. Um, I'm Dezo, your host, you know what I'm saying? Stay tuned because it could be different hosts. You never know what's going on this one, man. It's an injury to one, and we for sure want everybody from all 60 locals. I just learned that is 60 locals. So we want everybody from all 60 locals. Come put your tools on the table. Come, you know, come and be with us. You know what I'm saying? We together, brothers and sisters. And I for surely wanted to bring this to y'all. I thought that this would be like a very much unifying podcast. So I do want everybody that's down with the local, to come, and that's down with the union, to come. Everybody with the local, everybody with the union, let's go. ILWU. We got a platform for us to just come and you know, hang out, chill out, be unified, be together. So with that being said, like I said, I'm your host, Dezo. I got two brothers here.
Vicky Lacey.
I'm Andre Dawkins.
Y'all could say y'all plug number.
9632.
9924.
So I don't have a plug. I'm a casual. I have a dispatch number. It's 3815. But I'm gonna be one of these, man. I'm in this thing, right? I'm in here with y'all. So I appreciate y'all for coming. How y'all doing today?
I'm doing fabulous. This is such a great honor for me to be here with my son, who's just got into this industry that's one of the greatest uh, industries that I worked in, because I'm retired now. And I'm just so thankful that he's in it. And it's just an honor for me to be here talking about a great union and a great history from this union.
I'm doing fabulous. I didn't know who was gonna be here, but to my surprise, your dad, my big brother. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Okay,
I mean, hey,
on a Sunday, it's like it's a glorious moment. I'm honored to be here.
and I'm honored for you guys to show up. Man, it been going through my head, like every time I be in the hall, in the hiring hall, and I just look around and I'm like, man, I feel like, I've been doing other podcasts and stuff. So I was like, I want to do something for us, something for us to feel a part of, and that's why I am so honored that y'all came through. I'm just, man, I'm happy, y'all. Y'all don't know. This has been a little. I've been talking about it for a while, and then once I got the logo and all that, I was like, man, this is really happening. So, and then now we here, right?
Yeah.
So first thing I wanted to ask you, Andre, why you want to be in the ILWU?
That's a good question. First of all, I didn't know anything about Longshore. I didn't know anything about ILWU. I did wonder what those funny looking cranes was. And I knew it was work going down there, but I didn't know what it was. This prior to 99.
Okay.
And as I was telling your dad, it's through the grace of God. I used to be an operating engineer, and I decided to take off work and park at Fruitville Bar Station and visit with my son, who was 4, and his mom at her mother's house on East 16th off of Fruitville. So I walked up, spent 4 or 5 hours with them, walked back towards my car, and on the corner of Fruitville and East 14th, it was a sign saying sign up for Longshore.
Oh.
And at that time, Yeah, because my father always told me the best way to get a job is to have one. And I always had one. And I was always curious about different stuff. So I put my head in 15 people online. The lady asked us to fill out this employment card, but she required driver's license and social security.
Okay.
5 people didn't have either or.
Okay.
I keep mine on me because I used to lose my wallet. I have double everything.
Right.
So I filled that out. At the time, I was staying on East 31st by Highland Hospital. Sat down, and the woman I was with, she older, liked to watch the news. So the news came on, and it advertises like 4,000 people downtown Jack London Square signed up for Longshore. She said, "Oh, that's a good job," because her girlfriend's husband was one.
Okay.
"You should apply for that." I said, "No, I don't." She said, "Why not?" I said, "They went to the wrong place. I already did that." So,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't never have desire until I came in contact.
Okay.
And one of the first men during my orientation, safety orientation, I met by the name of Orangutan, Mr. Bruce. And he told me this is the best job next to heaven. You just don't know it yet. And as I got exposed, that what he said became true.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. The best job next to heaven. That's a good one.
Yes.
So, Mr.
Well, yeah.
Mr. Dickey, how you doing?
I'm just, you know, your dad almost died 4 years ago, and I was out of the, the RW for over 20 years, and I also tell you it's the best job I ever had, and it's just surreal for me to be sitting here
Right.
today with my son and one of the people that I've been knowing, this young man here. It's really an honor. My history with ILW goes back with my uncle. His Robert Ward. He was a gang boss back in the day. And back in the day, like a lot of us know that the longshoremen, that weren't longshoremen, you could be hired to work to fill the gangs. You have to have so many people at gangs. And my uncle would get his son, and then he would get me and my brother, and we would go work on our social. And I was young then, and I was, wow, I'm out here ships and stuff. I'd never been out nothing like that, and I was just excited. And I was just so excited. And our first job I had was at the Alameda. It's called Instanel, and it was no cranes then. It was winches. And you had the nets and the pallets that they put down in the hold. It was all hold work. And so the first job I had working with my uncle, I was in the hold hooking up steel to go to get high rises or whatever. And so I remember old timer, and that's what another thing about longshoremen. An injury one is an injury at all. Even though I wasn't a longshoreman, he told me, say, young man, when we hook this up, see that corner over there? Get in that corner. That winch gets that on the dock. I said, yes, sir. And so I got in the corner, and we hooked it up, and he was taking it out, and it fell back in the hole. Have you ever heard steel on steel? It was an awesome sound, and I would have been squashed like a bug if I hadn't listened to that man. So that was my first induction to it, and I wanted to be. And my uncle got me and my brother, a few jobs during the years. And when I kept wanting to be a longshoreman, and you could fill out an application because a PMA used to be at the ferry building.
Right.
And so I went there and I filled out this big old application with all. And so by then I had got married, and I said, I want to be a longshoreman. I kept telling my wife over the years, and I never could get in. So at one point I was working for A&G newspaper, and I was a courier. And so at night, the Tribune building had moved to Jack London Square, and their offices, the building was still there, their offices moved there. So I was going out to pick up some eggs, what they call, at night. And I saw all these people. And then I said, what are all these people doing down here? And so the next day on the news, longshoremen are taking in a couple of cards. And my wife said, oh, you want to sign up for that? And I said, no, that's 10,000 people down there.
Right.
I ain't going to get that. It's a lottery.
Right.
And she said, well, you said you wanted to be a longshoreman.
Right.
But so I'm thinking, okay, well, I had to be at work at 5:30. in Hayward. So, and I had to go to Nimitz. And so I said, go down there and check. And they closed at 5. So I went, got off, wasn't nobody there. Because everybody wanted to be first, right?
Oh,
and it was
yeah.
getting ready to
Probably got
close.
there early in
It
the
was, yeah,
morning
they
or
wanted to get
something.
there early. And I went in, fill out my application, not my card, brother. And I forgot about a few weeks later, my uncle went to the drawing. Uncle Bob, the same guy that introduced me to. And lo and behold, I got chose. I didn't know what to do because I had a job, but I worked it out where I worked till I was able to get registered, and best job I ever had. And because you have to know about the history of this, it's a good paying job, good best benefits ever that I know of, and but you have to know why we got that on the backs of people that didn't. That's why the injury to one is injury to all.
So working with Uncle Bob is what made you want to be in
Right.
longshoremen.
I would have
That's
never
what
knew
showed
anything
you.
about it. I would have never knew it.
And then you just walking down the street, just happened to stumble.
Yeah, it's like the thing about it is that I always was curious
About what
about
those
what
cranes.
the cranes was doing. And it's like, you know, it's a verse in the Bible that I go to, Proverbs 16:9. Man plans and God directs his steps.
Right.
And because it was on my mind, God direct me at that time. And the crazy thing, your dad and me, we signed up on the same list.
Oh,
in 99.
Okay.
He seen it one way.
Right.
God brought it to me a different way.
Right.
And then the thing about it is, just like it was only 15 people in line, 5 people didn't have either or, but he went, well, there's nobody in line.
Right. Yeah.
And he got a call earlier than I did, but I got called in 2001.
Okay.
So it's like, it's a trip how people, you know, and I think about Dickie, you know, it's I don't know if it's an adage or something like the first should be last and the last should be first.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it just happened to happen that way.
Right.
But you know, he knew more about being alongshore, and I discovered about being alongshore. But we both was on this ride. When we got there, it's like, yeah, we longshore.
Yes. That's how I actually love doing it. So I definitely understand the feeling. It's like if you when you okay, we signed up, they called us and everything, but when you out there, it's like everything is very low, everything's so big, the operation is so, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know that it's like millions of dollars, billions of dollars being shipped through here, and it's just like it's like nowhere where I ever been, no job I ever had before. It's and I worked like construction jobs and stuff, and it's just like no job I ever had before. So I do understand exactly what you mean when you like, man, the feelings that I get when I be out there. I don't know about y'all, but even just lashing, just being up on the ship, being on the deck or whatever, and you looking down and you just like, man, I'm just this big compared to everything that's going on here. So I understand like the pressures that some people be under or whatever to do the job, and so I just be like, man, this I want to do whatever it is to help out my brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying?
And
I
that's,
want
I'm sorry, but can I say
Go ahead.
this? Because
Go
your
ahead.
dad indicated this, that most of us don't really apply ourselves to. That feeling you feeling, that's initial, right? But to have that feeling grow, he indicated a lot of stuff we have is on the backs of people who didn't have it.
Didn't have it. Exactly.
And the only way you're gonna learn and grow that feeling to really be alongshore is to go to our library.
Exactly.
Your dad indicated that he worked in the archives of a newspaper.
right. Yeah.
That he had to research stuff when they called him, pulling back articles and stuff. Our library go back to 1919,
Okay.
and it's a grand. I mean, for have a workplace you can go back and learn literally through the documents what this is about. I never had a job like that. You know, the jobs I had before, they tell you what it was, and you don't know if it is or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But the history is there.
It's there, and I mean, it's vast. It ain't just about the hands-on job. It's why this job is like this.
Exactly.
And you only learn that through the documents.
Right. I understand that. I gotta hit the library up and go with my friends, because Pop's always like, man, y'all gotta go up in there. So I got a question for y'all. So, and Dad, you retired. You still active, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So looking back, because y'all both been in there damn near 30 years, so now over the period of time. So looking back at the time that y'all been longshoremen and members of Local 10, so when you became Bs or whatever, what's one of the pivotal moments or struggles that you went through that made you feel like that made you realize the importance of solidarity?
Oh, wow, that's deep. You know, when I got hurt,
Okay.
you know, injury to one, injury to all, when I was lashing, which you know I didn't like, but I was on a ship, and me and a brother, his name's Adam, I stepped back into there's a gangplank there, and there's a cover, and I was trying to get what they call 3 highs, rusty ship, and I think I was B then.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be closed, and I didn't realize it wasn't. So when I was trying to get that lashing rod off, I stepped back and went down. And so then they thought I broke my back, they thought I broke my neck, but they didn't want to take me off of this hip. You know, remember those steps you were telling me about?
Yes.
So they decided to hook me up to the crane. And so, you know, I don't like heights.
Right.
But everybody was there. We don't want to take you down. We think they had, when by the paramedics got there, they had, had me all strapped up. But everybody was right there to take care of me. You see what I'm saying? An injury to one is, and they had to call your mom and tell that I was hurt.
Right.
But everybody was there to help me. And come to find out, all I did was sprain my back. But they hooked me up to the crane, and I told you I don't like heights.
Right.
And they took me off that crane, and then the thing started going this way, back and forth, and I'm in there strapped in a life, basket. But and then they had cleared the deck, because when stuff like that happened on longshore, they clear the deck. And so that was when I learned that the importance, we take care of each other. And that's why you should know about the history of this union, because it ain't all about making money.
Right.
It's all about how did we get this to make this money.
Right.
And it's through the backs of people that did not have that. And that's why visiting, and I've told you many times, visiting the archives, which is, at the benefit office.
Yes.
It's the Harry Bridges building.
Yes.
And when I first went there, and I think I've told this story, that when Willie Adams was the Secretary of Treasury.
Yes.
And we went there, and I passed his office, and I said, could I come in your office? You know what he told me? He said, bro, this is your office.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Said this is your, I never forgot that.
Right.
So I always, even though I never really got into, offices or anything, I always been a steward on the job.
Yes.
I always tell them to do the right thing, just not rush up to get off work to kill yourself. No.
Right.
I said, please take care of the job, it'll take care of you. How many times we heard that?
Yes. All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
So
me, it's crazy. Like I said, I wasn't as familiar as being a longshore as your dad was. But in 2001, when I went through everything to be actively plugged up to get a job, it was a lot of things going on. The Cox case, and in 2002, the lockout.
Okay.
So I wasn't really in California. I was in Illinois.
Okay.
And then they sent me a letter talking about lashing training. And I came back.
Yes.
And in 2003, and I stayed out here, for a month. That was my plan.
Okay.
My first day at lashing, training. It was 4 of us:
Mm-hmm.
Tally, Corey, Mo, and rest in heaven, and me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got dropped off, gave the girl my car,
Uh-huh.
but I ain't had no construction boots. They was in the truck.
Uh-huh.
So they was like, "Oh man, you gotta go get your boots."
Right.
I was like, "I can't, cause the car
She
gone."
gone. Right.
And so, this longshoreman named Sixpack was our trainer. First time I understood what longshore was, is because this is what we're gonna do. When the PMA agent come out, we're gonna play high Andre feet.
That's a good one.
So because if I had to leave to go
Okay.
get my
You would
boots,
miss the training.
no, they would have cut my pay
Oh yeah. Okay.
until I came back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so they came and he distracted him. He got him out quick. You feel me? So that's when I knew an injury to one, injury to one. Injury to one is injury to all really meant, because we protected each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then at that time we was another one, because I lived in Illinois
Okay.
all my casual years
Right.
until I became a B in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And then old timers told us, learn 10 people in front, 10 people in back,
Right.
and network with each other.
Yes.
I had like 20.
Right.
And so when I go home and when we weren't getting out and we seem like we might get out, I get a call, I come back.
Right. Okay.
So that brotherhood over time for 3 years
Exactly.
built. You know what I'm saying? And people get mad, oh, why you calling him? Because it's a horse race,
Right.
in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But our group, we take care of each other,
Mm-hmm.
not just on the job.
Right.
Just like your father admit, one of us get hurt, we there,
Yes.
making sure you straight.
Right. Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I'm
for
saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Even if we're away, like I was, it's like, okay, like, geez, I think we about to get out. Because my first job, it took me 3 months to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the hall all day. And I'm like,
yeah.
this some BS.
That's what
For
it
real.
is. People
For
think-
real.
Yeah.
Mhm. People think that once you tell them you a longshoreman, oh, it's just, oh, you the richest person in the room. They don't know that this is a process.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think that maybe it's like a weeding out process. I don't know. Going to see who's gonna, like you said, it's a horse race. Who's gonna be there at the end?
Yeah.
So I just say to anybody that's a casual in any of these locals in this union, man, just stay down. I mean, when you look at the safety videos, you will see that some people was casuals for 15, 16 years. So, I'm hoping that's not my situation, but I'm just saying, if you're in the union, just stay down, man, because at the end of the day, at the end reward is really there. It's really
The pot of
it
gold.
really will take care of your family. It really will take care of your family, not just you. And so yeah, just stay down and man, you'll come up. So I got one for y'all that's gonna be, just your thoughts about this. So considering the changes, right, that you witnessed in the maritime industry, so like the whole thing, you know what I'm saying, considering the changes within local 10, because y'all know about the inner workings, what do you believe that the next generation of longshoremen will be facing, and what role the union will be playing in negotiating the challenges?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Yeah, Andre, you're involved more in with the active now.
Yeah.
My feelings about I basically, like I'll be telling you, if you learn about the past,
Mm-hmm.
then you will know about the solidarity of whatever comes at us, and it's going to be AI. It's no doubt about it. It's coming through the.
So
we
that's
have
what
to.
you believe.
Yes, we have to learn about this technology that's coming at us. So they want cut us like they're going to try to do. Because rich people could wait, only to be, weak. That's why we have to have that solidarity. And that has to be within the workings of the local, the people that run it, to make sure it ain't all about making money. It's about how to keep making money. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's what the best thing we have to learn about each other. Because one person could start something, but it takes a group to implement it.
Yeah. I think it's a good question. A lot of times when I talk to people, and you kind of indicated about the term longshore is not what you do, that's who you are. Unfortunately, a lot of times we don't know what we do, because the longshore has 140 different jobs we can do. And as your dad talked about, we need to learn how to protect our jurisdiction. And yeah, just threatened about AI and stuff like that, it can be beat. Because the old timers beat it before. Because they educated themselves, about how to protect their jobs, and how to create jobs. A lot has been pushing over the years about being mechanics.
Right.
Because they're gonna need to learn how to fix these machines. But when you brainstorm, it's like this. It's not just being a mechanic. It's about learning about the technology.
Yes.
Okay? Because they can front load a lot of mechanics. You go to a car dealership, it used to be a lot of mechanics. But now there's few, and they call technicians. Because it's like one person can service 50 cars, because they understand technology and how to read the apps and codes and stuff like that. So you don't need that many human beings. So longshore, as your dad indicated, if you educate yourself first on what this is, what we have in the history, then you can plan with other people to learn how to protect it and what we need. Because a lot of times people just go on rumors on how they feel. But that's not educate. That's not an educated way to apply.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You have to learn, and the thing about it is, we don't have to go outside of our industry to learn.
Right.
We have a full library.
Yes.
That's just waiting for us to get into. Now, I'm hopeful because the list we came in had 7,000 people.
Okay.
The list you came in on had like 3,800 people. Okay. Now, from 99, we done processed about 12,000 people. But it's only 1,400 A persons. 6,000 people just vanished.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have the endurance, as you mentioned, keep going. But to help you to keep going and to help you protect and not be afraid of this industry and what's going coming down the pipe is to educate each other.
Right. Each one teach one type stuff.
Yes. That's another thing about an entry to one.
Yeah.
If we educate each other so we won't be hurt.
Right.
Protecting our jobs. It's like what jobs, we are the authors of what jobs we have.
Right.
These 148 jobs, 100, they came through longshore. They didn't come to our employees.
Right.
Our employees didn't know nothing about what job we doing. They just want the cargo on and off.
So I wanted to ask y'all, okay, so beyond the tangible benefits like the health care, the wages, the hours that you gotta work or whatever, beyond all that. So what is can you tell me something that made you proudest of being a member of Local 10 and something that has impacted you and the people around you, like the other longshoremen or your family, just the positive though, what positive, besides the health care, besides the money, When you put that to the side, what
That's a
positive?
another. I hate to keep saying a great question. Bloody Thursday. It's one of the most proudest things that made me understood about how great this union is. When all the longshore gathered together with the families, you've been to a lot of Bloody Thursday. How they treat the families, how it is a family thing. You know, that makes me feel so good when we get together as a unit and a family. Bloody Thursday is one of the most important holidays we got as the longshoremen, because it brings us together. For the injury to one is the injury to all, that we're all family. And so when I first started going there, and you was a little kid then, and and I see other kids there now, they grown, and some of them are out there, and they're in the same industry that I was in, one of the most greatest, strongest unions, because of what? That solidarity.
Yes.
That family. That's what. And I mean, I'm feeling so much happiness about thinking about when I used to bring you there. And that's what gives me a lot of joy to think about that. When I think about, there's so many good things about it. It's a lot of bad things too, but that I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm going to dwell on what you just said. That's Bloody Thursday, the celebration of Bloody Thursday, the family that brings us together on that day is really one of the most important days to me.
No, I
for
like that
longshoremen.
answer. I like that answer.
It's like to add on to that, it's like the drill team.
Okay.
I got presented to be on the drill team. I had a drill team before when I was my youth, but I didn't know like what this drill team was about to start learning about the history of it, and got to Josh, General Josh. He took me to my first caucus.
Oh,
And,
okay.
he was telling me about we have a voice,
Right.
and pretty soon you will have a vote. And, you get to determine the working conditions that you work in, your environment.
Right.
Everything that was written in our contract, our safety code, our constitution, our port working rules were written by other longshoremen. Our employers just agreed to our words.
Right.
And so the benefit of being a longshoreman, other than what you mentioned, is the right to participate, to become. I was fortunate enough, not only just on the drill team, we are ambassadors.
Right.
Because most people, we go to different events and perform. After the performance, they ask us about who we are. So we get to represent as ambassadors and tell people, because some people think we're merchant seamen.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I get that a lot.
And so we get to explain what we
difference.
do. Each container we move employs one person in 10 different industries before it gets to the consumer. So we impact hundreds of thousands of jobs
Right.
for other people.
Yeah.
And I recently became a part of the negotiating team for our supplement.
Okay.
So we did something historically that ain't never been done in Local 10 in over 40 years.
Okay.
Our supplement, we gained through the help of our membership, voting it up. 18 benefits.
Okay.
That our employee agreed to.
Okay.
They ain't set out to us since 94. And before 94, we didn't get much either way. In 94, only thing they did was reiterated what we already had. But today we got 18 new working conditions specifically for Local 10. And I was a part of that group.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's
and
big.
so
That's
the thing about it is just like I mentioned earlier about South Africa. I was one of 14 delegates to go to South Africa because they were celebrating the 50th anti-apartheid celebration, and what our longshore did in '84. This is the first time longshore went to Africa.
Okay.
And we went to Durban, which is the largest port in the continent.
Okay.
And then Peter Cole wrote a book about us, Local 10, African American longshore, and Durban, African longshoremen. which we are the most militant longshore locals in the world.
Right.
But as your father indicated, IWU, we are the strongest union in the world. But we don't know that. We just think we take a job out the window and that's it.
Right.
Get
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And some of us. That's a better
That's
word.
one thing we got to
Yeah.
change.
Yes.
We have to change the fact that it's not about the money. It's about keeping the money.
Mm-hmm.
And that means keeping
Protecting
this
the
man was
job.
just talking about solidarity with it takes one person to start something, like I said, but it takes the group to implement it. And that's solidarity. And that's
I was a chairperson for Oscar Grant campaign. First time a police officer any sort got convicted of murder in the state of California, even though he got the lesser charge.
Right.
But it's set like a drop of water to break up this concrete.
Right.
And George Floyd got murdered.
Right.
I was in Illinois. And I'm a part of the African American Longshore Coalition. I called our brother Trent. It's time for us to get involved.
Right.
So we wrote a letter, sent it to the governor, the general attorney, and the DA of that county, and share with them. If they don't charge our officer with second-degree murder, this whole West Coast will be shut down, just like we did for Oscar Grant.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they did that.
Okay.
3.5 days later, they charged all 4 officers with second-degree murder. When they wasn't going to get Meserly, it's like, if you don't go get him and detain him in 3 days, these docks will be shut down. They went to the border of Nevada and charged him. But the thing about it is, by Longshore, I had to remind the bar directors that they first chairperson for the board of directors for BART was William Bill Chester.
Yes, definitely.
Who was Longshore.
Yes.
Before the pipes went in the ground.
He was, definitely.
Aliato appointed him the chairperson of the BART.
Yes.
So Longshore, we all over the place.
Man.
But you have to get involved. You have to learn to be. Just like right now, it gives me the freedom to go back to college.
Right. Yes.
It gives me the freedom to attend my kids, whatever, my grandkids, whatever. My father passed away in 2020 in Illinois. My mom and stepfather had mental health issues in 2020. I was back home for 6 months, periodically during that time, taking care of my family.
Right.
But Longshore allowed me to be able to do that.
That's a lovely
It ain't
thing.
about the money.
That's beautiful.
It's about what you do with the money.
Yeah.
It's about how you protect the money.
Yes.
How you keep the money coming.
Yes.
How you, if you nobody coming into Longshore, you become somebody.
Yes. I love that, man. I love that. I mean, I love being there, knowing that it's people that graduated from college with degrees of this or that, and they still right here with me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you don't have to be the most highest educated person to even make that type of living. So I think that I think that that's just one of the most greatest things. Like, and walking in there and, like you said, seeing a lot of people that look like myself, or even people that don't look like me or whatever, being solid together. Seeing them, shaking each other hand at 6 o'clock in the morning is you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's probably a task for somebody, but for me it's cool because I know.
Well, I'm keeping 100.
I want these people, everybody.
I'm keeping 100. One thing that's real funny is some of our brethren live in Napa area.
Right.
Okay. If I go up there and I just happen to run across them, they with their other friends, And they be like so excited. Hey, what's up, man?
Right.
And they be at the bar or whatever. I got you. They other friends be
Yeah.
like, you got who? You got him? Oh, this is my brother.
Right. Yes. Yes.
They be like, huh?
Right. So no lie, right? So I was downtown San Francisco during, I don't know if it was the women's convention or something. This was last year, and I seen some sisters from Hawaii.
Mhm.
They was working in the hotel industry. I
Yes.
didn't know we had
Yes.
hotel industry
Yes.
people that's a part of our union.
Yes.
But me interacting with them was like, I was excited. They had on their stuff. I
Yes.
didn't have on mine.
Right.
But I went to the car. I got mine. I'm like, look, I'm with y'all.
Yeah.
Together. And it
Yeah.
just was like, man, it's so, like I said, the job is, to me, is not a job. It's everybody out there. We family. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So with that being said, y'all, thank y'all for y'all time.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
appreciate
Y'all,
y'all.
I love you.
That's great.
Man, I love you too, Pop.
Yeah.
I
No, real
appreciate
talk.
y'all for y'all time. Man, this episode, y'all, please go and look at it, share it with your brothers and sisters, because what we want to create with this is a place for you guys to come. Anybody that's a part of the ILWU and family, you know what I'm saying? Come, we can talk about it and just sit down and have a good time. So I really appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate the union. And until next time, we out here. Brothers and sisters, remember to stay safe out there, because an injury to one is an injury to all.